everyone, Christina Campbell here from Arthur Murray Dance Studios, and I've heard there's a lot of you that are looking to learn how to edit split screens on iMovie. So today I'm going to show you how. Let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I have opened iMovie, I have started a new project, and I am ready to begin. So over here on the left, I do have some files that I've imported into my iMovie library. You want to make sure that they are in your iMovie library and not up here where it says libraries like photos and events and things like that, because otherwise it won't do the things that you want it to do. So we're going to first start off with doing a very simple split screen. This is the easiest way to do it. If you want like headache-free, make this happen fast, this is the one that you want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag some sort of the media, it doesn't matter, let's say I want to use like this part of the video. I'm going to drag it down to what's called the timeline. And then let's say I also have this other video here and I want to use this portion and I'm going to put it right here and I'll make sure that it goes on top. Okay, now it's easiest if you bring that there. If you want to see this little guideline where it snaps it to the exact measurement, you're going to want to go up to View and click on Snapping. Otherwise, it won't give you that exact same measurement. So I'm going to double click or just click on this one, and there's a little option up here in the top right corner. It says Cutaway, Green Blue Screen, Split Screen. So if I go like that already and I go back and play, you can see that I have a split screen. Yay! Now I'm going to click on this again, click on the audio button and click on this other audio button to make sure to disable it. I'm also going to do the same thing with this one, make sure the audio is off. So now when I play it in the viewer up here on the right, you can see that I have a split screen going. And this was actually the footage I did from the other Zoom tutorial. And that would be the easiest way to do it. Now, if you want to have really high quality sound, what you're going to want to make sure to do is take whatever song that you're using for your student and make sure that you lay it on the bottom and then just line your images up with the song so they're dancing on time. You can use the audio that comes with the video, but it's not going to be as high quality. So if I play this here, it comes through very, very well. Yep. All right, there you have it. That is a simple split screen. So now we're going to do a split screen that puts it into 4 screens, and this would be evenly dividing it up between all 4 corners. So the first thing you want to do is click on backgrounds. Then I'm just going to choose black for right now. You're going to drag it down to the timeline. Doesn't really matter how long it is until you get your clips in there. I'm going to go back to my media, and then I'm going to select a portion of my clip that I want in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that down to the timeline. And then at this point, I'm going to click Picture in Picture. As you can see, that makes it really small. It's a picture in the picture, kind of like when you watch the newscasters. So you can drag this anywhere you want to. I'm going to pull it to the corner, and then I'm going to pull it to the middle. So as you can see, it's nice and even. There's some lines like that that show me exactly where that's at. Okay. I want to make sure that either this entire clip is that long, or I'm going to cut one side in. So I want to cut this side in. As you can see, there's like a little diagonal line here. That's a dissolve, so I'm going to get rid of that just so that it pops up on the screen right away. And right now this clip is only a few seconds long, but that's okay for what we're doing. Now, in order for me to load another image on here, what I'm going to need to do is export this. So I am going to go to Share. I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to just leave the title as it is for my movie, and then export it to my movies. Now at this point, I'm going to wait till it's done. There's a little circle up here in the corner that lets me know when it has actually shared or not, which it has. And then it says it's successful. And then I'm going to go to Import, which is this little down arrow at the top. And in My Movies, there is a My Movie. I'm going to import that, and now that is in my bin up here under the event 519. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete these that are in the timeline. I'm going to drag this down, and now as you can see, that one is already there. So when I go to lay a second image, let's say I want to pull from this video, and I think it's about 7 seconds, 9 seconds. I'm going to put it on top. I'm going to select Picture in Picture again, and then I am going to drag it to the same line as I did before. Nice and simple. I click the checkbox, looks like it's pretty even. You might need to make some adjustments. And then I'm going to make sure that this clip is cut down to this one and that I don't have, oops, that I don't have these dissolves here anymore. So they all come up at the same time. Now keep in mind, you won't be able to extend this one. So however long you cut it the first time is going to be the one that it does. That's the full length of the clip. Then you're going to rinse and repeat. You are going to export this file, and I'm going to call this one My Movie 2. So then it's going to export for me. I'm going to wait for the little bubble on the top right-hand corner to finish. Share was successful, and now I am going to import that movie, and it should pop up now, My Movie 2. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and select all this, hit the delete button, and now I can drag this whole clip down, and now I have those two there. Let me go ahead and close this. Then let's say I'm going to add the third one, and we're just going to rinse and repeat those things. So I grab my clip, I put it on top. And when you're doing routines and stuff, you might have to move it along to make sure all your people are timed together. But hopefully if they're dancing to music, it should keep it pretty simple. Then you're going to do picture in picture again. You're going to bring it down here. And I'm sorry, let me put my timeline there. Okay. You're going to bring it there. And then you can drag it in any which way you want. That one lines up. And then I'm going to make sure that this clip, let me zoom out a little bit, is the same length. Perfect. So now when I put the little scroll thing over there, it shows up the third one. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to export it, and I'm going to call it My Movie 3. It does have 3 images, so I guess that makes sense. It's going to export again in this top little right-hand corner. It is done. And then I'm going to import My Movie 3 and put my last image on top. So I'm going to highlight this, delete, drag the whole thing down, and then I'm going to choose something else up here to be able to lay on top. I will go to picture in picture, drag it to where I want it to be, and then, then you can see all 4 of them are going to be there. I'm going to make sure that I trim this back again. Oops. Make sure I get rid of these little diagonal lines here. And then all 4 of them should come together. If you want to make sure that the dissolve is gone, you can click on this little box up here, and there's a dissolve, and you just want to set the thing to 0, and that will get rid of it altogether. So now when I play from the beginning, see there was a dissolve on the front, and now I have all 4 of those there. And then I'm going to go through and just deselect the sound again, because I do not want to hear all of those at the same time. Oops. Okay, so now it should be nothing, but as you can see, I have all 4 images. They're perfectly lined up, and then I can go back again, add whatever song I want, make sure it's the same length. Right now it's longer, but then it will play it with all 4 images dancing. And that is our 4 split screen. For this one, I'm going to start with that background again. You can use any background that you want really, but I feel like a black one is just common and really clean and whatnot. Then I'm going to go into my media. This is where it gets a little bit tricky compared to the other ones. So let's say I want to use this first part of the video where I'm pointing at the screen. So what I'm going to do is generally select the area that I want. I'm going to make sure that it's highlighted. I'm going to click this crop tool right here, click the crop button, and then these little arrows pop up for how I want to crop it, and which is really cool. You can basically show whatever portion of the thing that you want. So I'm going to make this nice and skinny because I want to be able to fit quite a few things on the screen. And I'm going to click this checkbox. And as you can see, now it only shows that part. So I'm going to go back up to that section that I had, and I'm going to lay it on top. I am going to extend this black bar out so that way it's a little bit more even. Has that snapping there. Good, and so now I am there. Now if I want to be able to move this, because right now it's just in the middle, what I want to be able to do is I want to make sure that I double click on it and then do the picture in picture, just like we did in the other video. And now I can make that vertical image go wherever I want and start wherever I want. So I'm going to do that just right here. That's nice, that works. I'm going to check it off, and then I'm going to go ahead and export it like I did before. So I'm going to export that file. This one, because of the previous video, is going to be iMovie 4. And then once that has finished exporting, I'm going to re-import it. Now, if you're taking up the whole screen without a black background, you could save yourself one step and do this in the black background bar here. But if you want to have that type of background, then you'll want to do exactly what I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to import my movie, and it's iMovie 4. Import, now it appears in my bin. I'm going to highlight this, delete it, and let's go ahead and drag this into the timeline. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull from the same clip because I feel like that's where it can get a little confusing, because you're like, what if it's all from the same video? So I'm going to highlight a different portion of the video. Now you can do this in kind of either order if you want, but I'll hit the crop tool, hit crop again, there we go. So now I can move it over here and on this part, and so now I'm kind of far away in the screen, and that's exactly where I want to do that. So I'm going to check that off there, and then if I want to reevaluate where exactly that is, then I will adjust that here, but the whole video has now been cropped to wherever that was on the screen. So I'm going to pull it down into my timeline. And now, as you can see, this is a moving shot, so it's a little bit more complicated. So I'm just going to show you how to move this a little bit. So I'm actually just going to do this nice and easy. I'm going to drag that all the way to where I wanted that to be. Then I'm going to move this all the way down. And then, oh, that was the full length of the clip, so you got to be careful when you do that. So it looks like some of this shot is going to have to move then. Okay, never mind. So that's what you would do if you were doing that. Now, I've already cropped it, but now I have to do my picture in picture so that it matches the size of the other one, or really whatever size that you want to have in there, right? I might place this one more in the center of the picture. So then I'm going to click check, and then I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to export the file. I'm going to call this one iMovie 5. I'm going to wait for it to export. Waiting on this little dot up here, and it's finished. Close that notification, highlight this whole thing, and then import that iMovie into my folder up here. So now when I click on it, it has the whole thing for both of those images. Okay, so I'm going to do one more for right now, and I'm going to do it again from the same clip. Okay, so I'm going to use my crop tool. I'm going to highlight, let's say, the iPad this time. And make sure you click the check. There we go. Then I'm going to drag that segment down into the timeline. And then I'm going to double click and do picture in picture. And now I can make it however big I want. Yeah. There we go. So I can make this one a little bit wider and then even it up a little bit. So that looks pretty even for the most part. If you want it to be exactly even, I would recommend using another, like a Word document or Canva, to create basically just a background picture. You can lay out ahead of time where you want them to go, so that way when you drag them onto the background that was, the black background, that now you have an outline of where you want them to be. But for the most part, I mean, if you're watching a video like this, you wouldn't even notice that the one on the left is just a little bit skinnier when you're going through. So now I'm just going to make sure that this goes to the end. I'm going to get rid of those dissolves. I might have forgotten to do that on the other ones. We'll find out. And then I can add some music if I like. That fun, cheeky Havana. And let's go ahead and mute the audio on this. So I'm going to select no audio. I'm going to select no audio on this one as well. And if I go back to the beginning, yes, I did forget the dissolve on the first one. There you go. Now for the sake of making this even, I'm going to throw that dissolve back on. And now they come up together. There you have it. The 3-person split screen in iMovie. All right, everybody, there you have it, split screen for iMovie. Now you might be wondering, gosh, this is gonna take me forever. Will I ever get this down? And the answer is that you will, because this is just like dancing. It is a learned skill that takes practice. You just gotta get yourself through that initial learning stage and that awkward stage, and then pretty soon before you know it, you're gonna be moving up to the natural stage when doing this. But you can do this, and there's always people that can help, so know that you're not alone. Now there are some easier ways to stack multiple images on top of each other that you can do in a different program called Final Cut, but that is a program that does cost a little bit of chunk change, not too bad, but iMovie is a free program that comes on your Apple devices, so it's a great one to use for the spotlights if you don't want to make an additional investment. So good luck, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.